Welcome to Jars to Table, meal ideas in under 15 minutes for those of us that like to preserve our food for long-term food security. It's cold again in the kitchen, so yes, I have got my dressing gown underneath my apron because it is that cold. But anyway, we're coming into a time where we're battening down the hatches, an old Navy term there. We know we're coming in not just for winter, but there are various things that are going on around the world, and it's time for frugality before prices go higher. And it's time to kind of look at what our foods are like, our pantries are like, and what we're missing. I'm going to next weekend, I'm going to be dehydrating eggs, so I'll do a video on that, but I've got a few tips anyway. I've got beef, a huge amount of stewing beef, which I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to be searing that first, but yeah, I am just sticking it in a cold pan. Shouldn't have done that, but anyway, I've just come home, so I'm kind of getting myself organised and I've only got a few hours. Sorry I've not posted for a while, been really busy. One of my tips was Bovril high protein beef paste. Now this mustn't be mixed up with Marmite, but beef Bovril, my tip is have a look at getting that instead of stock cubes. Stock cubes are very expensive and they've almost doubled the price. So for me, with this being half the price, I would rather get this, and there's much more to it. So you only need to put a level teaspoon of this concoction, because it's like syrup, into your stews or gravies. Anyway, right, sorry about that. I was testing for sound, so I went off. So I've moved what I've seared so far to the side because it's a really large saucepan. I'm doing some more, and I'll keep doing that until all of it is done. Right, so this is what it looks like if you've never seen it. It's a very thin, more runnier version of Vegemite or Marmite, and you really only want, mattering to how many jars you're doing, you really only want a couple of teaspoons, because I don't want to put this in a thick gravy. I'm going to bubble that away until it is all the meat has been cooked all the way through, because I don't want to be canning all day. I don't have time for that. So we'll be back once this is all cooked through. Because the Bovril has a huge quantity of saltiness to it, I'm not going to add any salt to this. You could add a bit of onion to it, onion powder, and garlic even, but I don't know, I think I'm not going to. I'll leave it as it is. Then it gives me more options on what to do with it once I open it up. But this is nearly cooked now. Right, I'm sufficiently happy that this beef is cooked. So now it's just about rationing out how much beef goes. Okay, so we had, if we look up here, I had my 4 jars looking gorgeous. They're all standing, and I had some beef left over. So I'm just, I'm not a gourmet chef, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the leftover, because I didn't want to can it. It's enough for one more can, but I thought dinner, why not? So now I'm just going to boil this up with a bit more water, and that really is tea, and all you've got to do is decide what veg to put in it, but I'm just going to add it to rice, and we are good to go. This will break down and melt, and I'll show you in a second what it looks like. And there we have it. I added a few things, but I put them in the list. Enough for an adult, well, 2 adults almost now. And super quick meal. Took as long as it did to hydrate the carrots and the onions. Didn't need thickening because the cream, coconut cream, did all of that. Okay, so while I'm waiting, I've got some mincemeat left over, so this is going to be another meal. We're on our second day right now. I was too busy to do it all in one go, but yeah, always use a little bit of what you, because you know, it's nice to have fresh food occasionally, isn't it? Anyway, all my bowls are being used up because I'm refining lard at the moment. So this is all I've got. Anyway, this is pretty easy. Most of you know how to make homemade burgers, but you know, I'm just showing you so that for those that don't, and salt and pepper. So I've got crackers here, salt and pepper. You can add the egg. I don't tend to add the egg, but I like the crackers to mop up some of the fat anyway, just before I fry it. So we're just going to really squelch it through. I wanted to do a quick word really. Primula do a, and this isn't an endorsement of Primula, but these are just what I've got, so I can get rid of that. So Primula do a fresh version of this sort of squeezy cheese, but they also do a long life version, and when I mean long life, I've only ever managed to get 6 months worth. So this will be out the 1st of just after Christmas basically. Right, so we know the protocol. I let it go in the fridge, which was a mistake, but I couldn't dehydrate straight away, so the fat has gone very hard, but we're not losing any of that good fat. I'm putting that in at, well, I'm going to check it before bedtime really. By the way, this here is to reflect the heat back, because this gets really hot underneath these, so a bit of cardboard and some foil on top of a marble surface on top of a work surface means I don't kill my work surfaces. Anyway, so I'm just going to put these in and double check them, but I'm quite happy for these to go at kind of 55 for the whole evening, and we'll see how we go. They don't really shrink much, by the way, so I don't think they'll shrink. And we've already cooked off a lot of the water, so really, apart from double checking and making the lumps a little bit smaller, which is what we need to do, apart from that, it's as good as done now. Okay. Well, this took quite a while. I've been busy sorting through all my dried stuff, checking bags and such, and like a lot of stuff, when you have a food product that has very sharp edges, you don't really want to put them in vacuum seal bags because they're so sharp. Once they've been dehydrated, they make microscopic holes, and I've just gone through my bags, and sometimes I double bag them if I'm a bit worried about making micro holes. And I kind of had about probably 1% of my bags had failed. So you want to be really careful about anything that you dehydrate with sharp edges, and meat is one of them. So anyway, I've got my old jars. They're going to be vacuum sealed, and I do use my vacuum sealer, but I kind of do it almost twice, and I get a super good seal. I don't get a false seal, I get a super good seal. And I make sure that the edges are clean and dust free whenever before I even put it through my vacuum sealing method. I wanted to show you this as well. You've got the standard, and I can't find it at the moment, but I use this about 50% of the time. This is a little bit larger than the standard, which is good because sometimes you need that. And then you've got a smaller hole, which again is much smaller than the standard. So you click those into place, and now I have got, and you get it on Amazon, and now I've got a really good funnel. But anyway, this isn't going to be rinsed off with water because, like curing meat, we don't worry about fat, because fat isn't going to go rancid if no air can get to it. So what's the problem? And I've got lots of cured meats, which I do myself, and once it's airtight after the curing process, just the same way that you do with cheeses, and you dip them into wax to seal them from the air. Same theory. Anyway, it's a little bit full, but I want to keep this. I don't, what I do is, right, I put the lid on and I give it a really good shake, and I usually can fit a bit more in. I don't want it touching the lid, but that's great. Now, you make sure obviously that this edge is really clean. You make sure your old lid, there's no dust or anything, and that is ready to be vacuum sealed. And I'll just keep going. Right, so 2 different ways to vacuum seal your food, ready for long-term storage, at least a couple of years, and if not longer, using a water method or a dehydrator and a vacuum sealer method. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll hopefully see you soon.